and welcome to Indie Attack today with Kelson and
Woody.
Today we have Zest. Zest was made for the interactive fiction competition. So Zest is essentially a life simulator of a person who is
working at some kind of lemonade stand.
Yeah, they work at you basically break it down to the functions of the game. You start your day. You have options about how you start your day.
You can take a shower.
Work out.
Pray.
You can pray, and you can do Zest. Zest is the drug in the game.
Zest is many drugs.
Yes,
actually.
It's the you can both smoke or shoot up or snort or whatever you want to do with Zest. So there's sort of basically several different paths you can go. You can go down a religious path. You can go down a total drug bender path where one of the ways of completing the game is collecting all of the different bongs and syringes and rolling papers. You can go a couple different routes. You can help out. There's interactive experiences,
and it's pretty much like the day-to-day life of the main character, because you wake up every morning and you wake up, decide what to do before you go to work. You go to work and then you decide what to do after work.
Yeah.
And there are random events. It's not the same time. Every time you take a shower, you want to have the same message. Sometimes you have disturbing shower thoughts.
Right.
Sometimes depressing stuff happens.
Yeah. Mostly depressing
stuff happens.
As
a whole, kind of a depressing game. This is not a happy times game.
This is a person in a dark place, and the reason that there's all these options that are representative of, in our life, like drugs, religion, seeking out things in others. There's a sort of storyline where you can kind of help a homeless person out if you want. That's one thing that you can follow that tree. Different things that represent reaching out and very much cut to the core of sort of human need and desire and what we are aspiring towards, what life means. It's all that stuff,
It's got some heavy themes going on.
Yeah, and as I'm a person, I personally do experiments with drugs, and of course not shooting up Zest, but
nothing illegal, kids.
Nothing. Well, and not yet. We'll see how votes go. But just to say that from my perspective, there were elements that I found were quite relatable, and it's clear that these guys have been in certain places of, and I'm a person who deals with depression, so it was very much, I was like, okay, this is
getting a little close to home.
Little close to home. This is like a Tuesday, a bad Tuesday, at times. And what I thought was really cool was just that, how your mood and, you could start out your day in a way where you, work out and take a shower and you're feeling all great and you go to work and you get a good tip. Or you could start out your day where you fucking do drugs, don't take a shower, you have bad breath, you're, pissed off.
There's a grossness meter.
Then you get to work and you snap at the lady who has an annoying kid, and then you don't get a good tip and you can't buy drugs. There's a real relativism to the whole thing that's really interesting.
And sort of in line with that, from a gameplay and design point of view, what this game does really well is the text flow and the text design. Text flows in a very conversational way, especially related to the situation. The situation you mentioned where there is a child begging the mother for a lemonade, and the whole text flow is interspersed with your character's thoughts of how much they hate the child,
right?
What the child is saying, very rapidly.
My mom would have smacked me,
And there's no audio to go with that, but it's very evocative of what they're actually trying to express through that. And
it's like subconscious thought is mirrored against the reality of the game in a really well, and it's almost subliminal, it's almost subliminal, but it's really effective, I thought. They did a good job with that, specifically, or in the shower and you're like, fuck, Frank's complaining about this, oh my god, my life, the total, when you have a panic thing and you're like, oh my god, and everything just snowballs into this giant thought wad, and then you're done with your shower and that's it, it's really everything and nothing,
So, this game is definitely not for everyone.
No!
There's a very specific subset that I think would, get this game. We are probably among that.
Yeah, definitely. On Indie Attack, we're no stranger to interactive novels, visual, text-based adventure games.
And the thematic elements of this being what they are.
Yes, absolutely. It's a very interesting thought experiment, and one that, does make you reflect on your station, wherever you may be, I imagine. And I would recommend Zest.
Yeah.
I don't as a game, you know, I didn't feel compelled to like complete every task.
Yeah.
I think what is there is really good, but there is a point where you can kind of get into a repetitive like.
Yeah, the whole goal of this game is there's like 12 different endings or something like that.
And then there's like a master, a Chivo. They call them Chivos, which is funny. And the master Chivo is getting all of them. So I imagine there's some grand conclusion to it all if you unlock everything.
So if this is the kind of thing like when we say this is a game about like being depressed and stuck in a crappy job, if that sounds like something you'd want to play, I'd say check it out.
Right, no light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah. You know, it's and you know, sometimes that can be cathartic in its own way to just embrace that dark side and play some of this.
Something worth looking into if you think it might be up your alley.
Get Zesty.